The silence of the soul when Allah feels distant. In this video, we explore the often unspoken experience of spiritual emptiness, when a believer feels emotionally or spiritually disconnected from Allah despite praying, fasting, and fulfilling obligations. It examines how these moments are not signs of failure but hidden invitations to deeper faith and transformation. Have you ever whispered a heartfelt prayer and felt like the sky remained silent? Have you ever sat in sujud not because you felt close to Allah, but because you were desperate to feel anything at all? You are not alone. This silence, this aching gap between your heart and your Lord, is not abandonment. It's a message waiting to be heard. Sometimes the hardest part of faith is not disbelief. It's not even sin. It's the silence. That strange, heavy quiet when you pray and feel nothing. When you recite Quran and the words glide over your tongue but never settle in your chest. When you raise your hands in dua and it feels like the sky has no ears. It's one of the deepest pains a believer can face. Not being rebellious, but being numb. Not turning away from Allah, but feeling like He has turned away from you, but He hasn't. This spiritual distance you feel is not distance at all. It's not punishment. It's a divine silence, a silence that speaks. You see, the soul, like the body, has seasons. And sometimes the soul enters winter, leaves fall, winds blow, the warmth of certainty fades. And in that cold stillness, we are forced to ask, why do I worship Him? For comfort? For peace? Or simply because He is worthy of it? Faith that depends only on feeling is fragile. Allah, in His mercy, sometimes withholds the sweetness so that you seek the substance. He removes the emotional high, so you return to Him with sincerity instead of sensation. This is where true sincerity is born. When you stand in prayer and your heart feels dry, but you stand anyway. When you cry, not because you feel close to Allah, but because you don't. When you whisper, Ya Allah, not from joy, but from yearning. This is not a low point. When you feel your faith slipping, this is the climb. There are moments in life when your heart feels heavy, your soul weary, some of the greatest worship happens not when we are inspired, unanswered, but when we begin to wonder, am I losing my faith? We do not pray because we feel spiritual, pause, breathe, but because we know He is worthy, the most authentic and powerful faith often reveals itself, did not during cry and grief, saying, but in I only complain of my sorrow to Allah, when everything seems to be falling apart, and yet you still did not Yunus call out from the depths of darkness? That is the not knowing whether he would be saved. The test of faith, holding on in the dark. Knew this silence. True faith is not proven they did when not run from it. Well. It is surrendered to when you feel like you're drowning, when because the silence is unbearable, when not empty, is barely a flicker. It's filled with tests, and yet with refinement, with the echoes of a love that is greater than emotion. It is Allah training you to rely on Him, not on the feeling of Him. So when your heart feels heavy in prayer, when dhikr feels dry on your tongue, when the tears don't come and the connection seems severed, do not say, where is Allah? Say instead, I am still here, Ya Rab. And that, right there, is the worship of the patient. Keep going. The soul's winter will end. Allah's closeness was never gone. It was merely teaching you how to walk in the dark with faith as your lamp. And perhaps this darkness is what will make you shine in the next world, not because you felt Him, but because you remained loyal when you didn't. So don't stop praying, don't stop whispering, even if it feels like no one hears, because Allah always hears, and He is never distant, even in silence.